Let X be a recursive language and Y be a recursively enumerable but not recursive language. Let W and Z be two languages such that Y complement reduces to W and Z reduces to X complement. Which of the following statements is true? And 4 statements have been given. So this is a question from Theory of Computation section regarding recursive enumerable languages. So in the question we are touching a point called reducibility. So if a language A is reducible to B, it's given with this symbol. If A is reducible to B, then informally we can say that solving A cannot be harder than solving B. Meaning if A is reducible to B, then solving A has to be at least as easy as solving for B. Okay. Now based on that we can write down these properties. One is if B is recursive, which will imply that A cannot be harder than B, right? So A will also be recursive. If we know that A is recursive enumerable and if A can be reducible to B, then B also has to be recursive enumerable, because if B was recursive, then A has to be recursive also. But we know A is recursive enumerable, which will mean B is recursive enumerable. Similarly, if A is not recursive enumerable, we can write down that B is also not recursive enumerable. Now also we need to take complement of these languages. Here it's given that X is a recursive language, okay, which means X complement will also be recursive. A complement of any recursive language will be recursive as well. Now Y is recursive enumerable language, which means that Y complement will be not recursive enumerable. Now these are important points from Theory of Computation. So if you don't know these, please refer to the video lectures from Theory of Computation section and learn about complements of various languages. Okay. Now based on this much information, we can now solve the question. Here it's given that Y complement reduces to W, which I can write like this, and we know that Y complement is not recursive enumerable. So Y complement is not recursive enumerable and Y complement reduces to W. Then based on this property we can say that W is not recursive enumerable. Similarly, Z reduces to X complement and we know that X complement is recursive, written here, which means Z will also be recursive, that is from this point here. So now we know Z will be recursive, W is not recursive enumerable. If you take a look at the options, you will see that option C, W is not recursively enumerable and Z is recursive. Option C is the right answer.